believe you believed me. How easy it was to deceive you all. Your love and admiration in the palm of my hands, and now I'm taking what you love and I'm leaving. You won't know when, you won't know where, but I'm getting out of here. I was frozen in the ice. You gave me shelter, you gave me life. Opened your heart for me to break. Rose up and bit you. You stupid old man, I'm a snake. I'm a snake. I'm a snake.
Spreaker is live and broadcasting music at the moment.
Okay.
So throw your hate.
Y'all are getting food, and I just ate. It was delicious. I'm already.
I got my food.
Whatever. Yeah, I'm good to go whenever you guys are.
Leaving in ashes behind me.
Let me just pull up the format here.
Down, set their Messiah on fire. I put the range on the ground like a king on his throne with the people.
We should start seriously considering things to do for episode 200.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, aside from just trying to get as many people in here as we can. 25 seconds left on this song. You want to just come on the air when it ends?
Yeah, we can do that. Dog, do you want to put it in? Do you want to put it in the what we call it, West?
So whatchamacallit.
The West.
Hello, kids. My name is Super Blizzard. I was brought before you here today to help instruct you in the fine art.
Yeah, I can do that in just a second.
Or, to be more precise.
Alright, keep playing another song then.
I'm already on it.
By Mr. Damian Sandow on vocals. I'm going to play guitar. If there's no further questions, we can begin. Alright. D is for deliberate speech, the pure and honest way. Never speaking until you know exactly what to say. A is for appreciating all the finest arts, expressions of the human soul that warm our wanting hearts. M is for magnanimous and merciful the same.
Too much shit with Smark shows up when I type that in on Twitter.
I is for intelligence.
Hilariously.
Mind, a quality divine assigned to all great men you'll find. E is for exuberance, for knowledge newly found. For no great journey ever started staring at the ground. N is for nyctophobia, the fear of darkness deep. Why all great genius knows to keep a nightlight while you sleep. Very good. That concludes the first half of our lesson. Are there any questions? I see there's no questions, so if you will so oblige me, we shall move on to the second half of our lesson. Silence, please. Mr. Sandow. S is for sympathy, a most important trait. To understand your fellow man is to be truly great. A is for accomplishment and a healthy sense of pride, for even the smallest of victories may fill you up inside. N is for nightlight. I know I'm repeating myself, but I cannot stress enough how...
Did we not follow Super Blizzard?
Genius. D is for demonstrative, with kindness and with love.
Let's see how that's possible.
Shape the world that we are dreaming of. O is for oblivion, the great unknown abyss. This is exactly the kind of thing that makes having a nightlight an invaluable resource. W is for waking each and every lovely day.
Oh, there's a bunch of Super Blizzards.
Genius.
I don't know which one's the right one.
Right.
Well, that concludes our lesson. If you have any questions for me or Mr. Sandow, now would be the appropriate time.
AJ Styles successfully did the Styles Clash on SmackDown this week.
Somebody gonna learn the alphabet. Somebody gonna learn some English.
We still got music going. We do follow him. I don't know what the hell was going on there.
Alright, we're live in West, so whenever.
I can pause that out. Wait, I think I can fade it. Wait, no. No, I can't. What the hell? Okay, so I can pause it whenever we're ready to start talking.
How long until it ends?
1 minute and 57 seconds, but it's just the Undertaker's unused theme song. So.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, you can do that. Just stop it.
We're on the air.
Hey, Omega.
Yes, Gunner.
Pretty boring week this week, huh?
Yeah, I couldn't even stomach to turn it over to CNN.
Yeah, I mean, you know, pretty crazy things happening over the weekend. The people who I wanted to go to the Super Bowl are going to the Super Bowl. And just remember, everybody, the best way to go out is on your back. It's Cam's year. Just saying. But speaking of going out on your back, let's start the show.
Well, there's no time for joking around. Just quiet down your chatter. Weekend pro wrestling is no laughing matter, baby. Impact Raw to SmackDown Blue. You'll be good at laughing science if you only listen to Get Serious. Oh, Get Serious. Oh, Get Serious. Enough!
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode number 193 of Woo Get Serious. My name is Gunner. That is Omega BR.
You know, people, even to this day, keep saying that, you know, Donald Trump just has no chance and that it's not even worth worrying about, but I just can't help it. I can't shake the feeling that he's going to win the Royal Rumble.
Well, there is no chance in hell of him winning this year's Rumble, maybe next year after he loses his presidential bid. Well, you never know. He'll probably be broke by that point, too. Joining us this week is our wonderful technical producer, Mr. Yank MDDS.
All complaints about political jokes made on this show can be sent to Gunner at smarksnark.com. That's Gunner, Gunnar, at smarksnark.com.
Well, I think that Trump is doing a pretty good job of actually making fun of himself. So, you know, I expect zero emails. Zero emails. Speaking of somebody that doesn't get any emails, it's NetJester.
I don't know if that was a segue or the story of my life, but I would like to say one thing about the Royal Rumble. Anyone but you, Roman.
Even with the one that won? We'll get into that in the 15-minute time limit, but yeah, should we? Speaking of somebody who's in pain, there's Vassar.
Oh, don't remind me about my tooth.
It's fucking going over, brother. Don't worry. And also joining us this week is that wonderful dog, Savos Dog.
And someone else is fucking going over, brother. And I think there was someone who mentioned that, and someone who was not here who also mentioned that certain someone might be going over as well, brother. So
Yes, just like I went over your girlfriend.
yeah, well, most people walk over air. So what can you do?
Yeah, pretty much. I figured as much. Alright, so let's do something unexpected, and let's do the news. The debut of AJ Styles, the Royal Rumble, didn't come without controversy, as this week TNA claimed days earlier that they had a handshake and written agreement with Styles to return to TNA for their big Pop TV premiere. These talk eventually included Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson, and all three met at Dixie Carter's home on December 14th to finalize the deal, decide creative, design merchandise and logos, and etc. TNA alleges that all talents cut off communication post-Christmas holiday and, quote, did not honor their agreement. AJ's agent, Bill Behrens, vehemently denied that anything was signed, and TNA was aware that a final contract was needed, blaming TNA for letting too much time pass early on. TNA did later send a tweet congratulating AJ on his WWE debut, and the first WWE shirt for Styles quickly sold out online. Okay, so AJ Styles in the WWE. This is a big deal.
This
Kind
is
of
a
a big
very
deal.
big deal.
Was that a question? That should just be a statement.
This is a
No, it
huge
very
deal.
much was a statement.
Okay, good, because it's a very big deal.
Fairly quick.
Which was the joke that I was going for there, yes.
I'm surprised he's being treated as well as he is. I thought for sure they'd bring him in and just fucking bury the shit out of him, just to be dicks.
I'm a little surprised myself. I didn't think that would happen, but they're all allegedly, supposedly offering him quite a bit of money. He gets to keep his name, his trademarks, his Styles Clash, that kind of thing. Which, by the way, I have to wonder how often they'll let him use that, because he hasn't hit one successfully yet. I'm sure it'll happen, but I mean, it is kind of a quote-unquote dangerous move. But
Don't worry too much about that. It's going to happen sooner rather than later.
Very much sooner, like SmackDown. Beyond that, however, it's pretty surreal for me to have AJ Styles in the WWE. I mean, he in comparison to other WWE superstars, he fits right in my opinion. But just to have him there and to have him as AJ that looks like the AJ from the Bullet Club is just kind of like, whoa, dude, never expected this one. Here's a fun fact, by the way. He's competed for the ROH, NJPW, WWE World Heavyweight titles in 3 months.
That's impressive.
Talk about getting some.
That's historic.
Well, and think about this, too. He has a chance to go from being one of the semi-mains of Wrestle Kingdom to debuting at WrestleMania within the span of a couple months.
And I think the last people to do that we mentioned on this show was like the Steiner brothers or something.
Yeah, so that's pretty damn elite territory.
certainly reflective of how the landscape has changed. Obviously, Triple H was backstage at Evolve the night before the Rumble, so that in and of itself is kind of amazing compared to the decade plus that we had where the competition really didn't exist, and people only switched sides because they had left one company and they got an offer and then they were going to do something different, and like you said, now AJ was a week ago he was basically a free agent and could have been on any indie show, and then now he's on Raw facing Jericho like it's just another Monday night.
Which, that was a pretty damn good match, by the way.
That was a really good match, and I was just happy they didn't that hopefully they're not planning for that for Mania, that they got that one out of the way right away so that Y2J doesn't take up his time.
I think it might be Styles and Owens at Mania.
That's going to be a fucking crazy match if that's the case.
Oh, yeah.
We've seen it before, but yes, it will be a crazy match. But the thing that I think is really funny that none of us are talking about right now is the embarrassment that TNA just went through. Like, dude, you basically tried to air out somebody's dirty laundry to make them look bad before they debuted for another company. How bitchy and terrible must you be to fucking sit there and put out, as a company, a public service announcement basically saying that this guy is a scumbag and typical wrestling business. Like, this is so shindy of them, it's not even funny. And I'm surprised that more of you aren't offended by it.
Well, it's not only that, though. They tried to make Styles and Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows all look bad, and they made themselves look terrible in the process.
Honestly,
it was just kind of a dick move in general, and it was just basically they put out a statement saying these 3 top talents do not want to sign with us anymore. They're going somewhere else.
Honestly, I'm not all that offended by it, to be honest. Because let's say it went down the way TNA says it went down, which of course it didn't. But for argument's sake, let's say it went down. They went to the house, they shook hands, maybe they even signed something. I mean, when you get that far, and then you decide to just cut off communication and be like, well, no, we're going over here now. We're going to your biggest competitor, if you can call them that. I mean, it's kind of it is what it is. It is basically what TNA says it is. They got this close to signing them, and then they just kind of cut off communication. I mean, that is kind of a scumbag move. But to be fair, it's TNA we're talking about here. I mean, they deserve that, and spades.
Uh-oh. Oh.
Breaking news.
Never good news.
A major TNA star has signed a long-term deal with TNA. Bram has signed a new long-term 3-year deal agreement with TNA Wrestling.
Nice. It's a big signing.
You said Bram?
I said Bram.
Major star.
Correct me if I'm wrong, isn't he the guy who they've signed to a long-term deal now 4 times this past year?
Yes.
He's bringing in all the fans. You gotta put your money in who draws.
What was the explanation again as to why that keeps happening?
Well, the most recent one was because he was facing charges of assault, I think, or something along those lines.
Yes, because he beat the fuck out of Charlotte.
No, it wasn't. Him and Charlotte was like years ago at this point. It was some other chick, but it was It was like a few months ago or something like that, and he had assault charges.
Yeah, where he beat the
him
shit out of some girl, and fucking they had charges put against him or something like that.
And then they were dropped, or who knows? It's Florida.
But again,
there you go.
It's the fact that they keep signing him to these like 2- and 3-year deals, and then a few months later they announce they did it again, and it's not the fact that they're dropping him, right? It's that they just keep signing him. What was it again that was the reason why they keep doing that?
I have no idea. I think that's a good news kind of thing. And those kayfabe news people, they're completely and totally reliable on something else. Speaking of being totally reliable, maybe we should get into the next big news chunk.
But real quick, I just gotta throw this in there. You're saying that in essence, the WWE and AJ Styles sort of what? Oh, now I can't even think of the terminology. Okay, I killed that joke.
Let's move on. Jeff Hardy and the Wolves have re-signed with TNA, while Austin Aries has officially signed. Has officially signed with the WWE.
Nothing to laugh at.
I was coughing. Nikki Bella is having potentially career-ending surgery on her neck due to a herniated disc, partially caused by her rack attack finisher, which she says she will no longer use. One source of Tyler Breeze's D-push apparently came when he asked to leave a SmackDown taping early and then did so without some high WWE officials knowing. Josh Brettle's heat over his Twitter comments is said to be more than anyone realizes, according to the Melts, and there was talk of having him enter the Royal Rumble to be humiliated, similar to how Daniel Pooter was years ago. On a related note, the lack of legends and other surprises in the Rumble match may have to do with the logic that because it was technically a title match, it wouldn't make much sense for non-roster members to be included. Well, that makes actually complete and total sense, and I hadn't even thought about it, to be honest with you.
What, you would expect, the Boogeyman to come out and be like, I'm the Boogeyman, and I'm going to be the WWE champion.
I would have been okay with that.
Hell yes.
I love the Boogeyman.
Well, I do
Who
too.
don't?
Like, I
Not
don't
as the
expect him to
WWE
win,
champion.
but to come in and, like, just to get eliminated, like a minute and a half later or whatever, sure, fine.
I think the fact that they didn't have all those random surprise people made Styles and Sami Zayn stand out twice as much.
Yeah, because they were two people that should have been in there and definitely could have been, champions if you would have thought about it for a minute. And it was plausible for them to actually be in there. And the fact that they were the surprises and they were the big surprises, that's exactly why I'm really happy that, there weren't, the Brooklyn Brawler or Road Dogg or, something else or somebody else coming in and just, taking a spot from somebody else in the back that deserves to be out there. I was surprised that there wasn't more social outcasts in the ring either.
Yeah, all we got was Curtis Axel, and he didn't last very long.
Well, they did the same
Yes, he
thing
did.
with a
He's
New
lost a
Day,
year.
too.
Yeah, weren't they all
Yeah.
supposed to be in it?
He's technically, if you think about it, hold on, listen, Curtis Axel is still in the Royal Rumble match because when he was eliminated from the match,
He was eliminated from the 2016 match.
That's right.
Yes.
So he is still going in the 2017 Royal Rumble.
Well, then Curtis Axel
2016
should,
Royal Rumble until 2017.
Curtis Axel should have the title match then with Triple H and get buried.
Yes,
This is worse than the
that should happen.
Killed.
I would be okay with that for a Raw, for him to come out and be like, I challenge you because I never got eliminated, technically.
I can see that happening.
So,
I could see him almost winning, too. That'd be the best part. Like, it would be like Jeff Hardy kind of thing against Taker in that ladder match. That would be cool. But speaking of things that should be that are really cool, Nikki Bella's never going to use that rack attack again. Ooh, excuse me.
Well, I just wondered if she had the upper body strength to pull that off. I mean, that's a Lex Luger. You have to be really built to try something like that, don't
no,
you?
you don't.
Well, Lex
she had a
Luger
really
wasn't
big chest.
dropping to his knees, though, when he did it.
That's not what I was talking about when I said upper body development. Gunner,
gotcha.
boy.
Ew, that was dog. Negative points. I'm done with you tonight.
Austin Aries is making his debut at those NXT tapings.
Oh,
That should be
come
fun.
on.
His t-shirt's
Put him
already
the
on sale.
roster. For the love of fuck.
I'll give him a minute. He'll be up there eventually, shortly, more than likely.
Oh, you mean like Samoa Joe, who's been in NXT for fucking ever?
I think at this point, though, they're pretty much waiting until after Mania to debut people.
Yep,
That's
I would
kind
highly
of.
agree.
I think you'll see maybe Joe show up the night after Mania or something like that.
It'll be Joe and Corbin.
Go. Joe has not been there that long for us to
Yes, he has.
go all freaky about. No, he's only been there, 4 months?
Yep, that's
The
enough
guy's-
time for him to be down there.
The guy's like a fucking 15-year veteran or better.
Owens was
Surely.
down there for less, I think.
I think,
Yeah, Owens
though,
was down there for less.
I mean, to some degree, though, they're probably using Joe as a coach, too, so that might be why his stay was extended.
Well, that would make sense, because he would make a pretty good coach down there to tell people what to do.
I
How
see
not
Joe
to
as
suck.
less of a big star and more. I'm not even sure Joe was actually signed with them completely. Can't he still do indies and stuff?
Yeah, he's basically only signed to an NXT contract now, but I mean, that could change in a heartbeat.
Obviously. All right, guys. Let's we're gonna run with the news. We're gonna get into the 15-minute time limit.
What the fuck?
There it is. 15-minute time limit, and we're going to be talking about the Royal Rumble. Mark Henry and Jack Swagger defeated Darren Young and Damian Sandow, the Dudley Boys, and the Ascension to earn spots in the Royal Rumble. Okay, why is Darren Young and Damian Sandow tagging and not Darren Young and Titus O'Neil? Oh, wait, Titus was in the Royal Rumble. That's right.
Well, at first I was really excited about Darian, Team Darian, and then
with your damn shipping.
Shut up. And then last night on Raw, Goldust went to R-Truth trying to form a team, and I was like, you know what would be even better than that? Goldust and Darren Young.
I'm a married man.
Right, and then Darren Young could tell him, dude, I have a boyfriend. But they could still be tag team partners, and it would be those two together would be. Darren Young would make a great straight man to Goldust's shenanigans.
That's an interesting way to phrase it.
But you know what I mean.
I think this is leading to Stardust's retirement as a character.
God, I can only hope.
I like Stardust.
Number 14 in the level. Stardust is coming to an end. We're going to get Cody Rhodes back, guys.
I would love for that to happen, but, I mean, he's never going to go anywhere. It's like, God, who knows how many other roster members that are super talented and fantastic and never get to go anywhere because, well, you know, creative.
Well, the only good thing to come out of the pre-show is Sexual Swagger, but that match was fucking terrible.
Sexual?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
I'm disappointed that Damian Sandow was not allowed to be in the Royal Rumble.
Good lord.
A pretty bad match, too, on top of being just basically worthless.
Well, let's talk about Ambrose and Owens, with Ambrose going over and retaining the IC title.
Having the most fun match of the night.
Oh, easily the best match of the night. That match was incredible.
Yeah, they did a really good job of keeping it very contained to the ring area. A lot of these last man standing matches lately, they go out to the stage, they'll go in the crowd, but as I recall, they really kept it really in the ring and right outside the ring.
Yeah, see, it's a John Cena last man standing match, so there isn't a need for some sort of proper stage thing dive through so that the person can get counted to 10 and you can hear
Oh, come on, you don't need props and things to dive through to hear that. All you need is a roll of duct tape.
I was wondering when somebody was going to bring up the freaking duct tape.
I'm pretty happy there was no duct tape finish or anything that would have kept this feud going. I'm happy that they just, this is the end. It was a kick-ass fight. It was probably one of the, best paced last man standing matches I've seen in a long time.
Even they did a really good job with pacing, with their big spots. I like the ending spot. I thought it was a good finish spot. I'm surprised that Owens didn't eat the chairs first. But, yeah. This was a decent match. It was really good. Not match of the year or anything, but somewhere up there.
It was a really good way for those two to end their feud, and it was their style of match.
Exactly. The New Day defeated the Usos to retain the tag titles.
Oh, I was so fucking relieved that this is what happened. The follow-up on Raw made me very, very unhappy. But
Why?
Do you know what this means?
What does
This
mean?
means we're going to have another match at fucking WrestleMania where the Usos are trying to take the titles. Well, they're going to win the titles at WrestleMania off the New Day with The Rock in their corner. And I'm just going to sit here and be super annoyed at the whole fucking thing.
I disagree.
Rock's going to be too busy being in the Samoa Boys corner. Fucking Roman Reigns.
And I thought the titles were coming off the New Day on Sunday. I didn't think they were going to make it out of Royal Rumble as still the tag champs. So if they're actually going to go all the way to WrestleMania with them, I don't give a shit who beats them for the titles. That's what you're supposed to do with the heel team.
Right.
I don't think they need to be the heel team.
Oh, here's the discussion about whether we think they're...
Look, I'm not saying turn them face. I'm not saying turn them face. I'm just saying let them do what they do, and it doesn't matter who the opposite team is.
Everything that they do, everything that isn't really just healing up on the crowd, and they're doing it intentionally to get a rise, is not heelish at all. They are faces.
They are faces
in the
but like they're dicks, but they're totally like cool dicks, like the kind of dicks like you're like, wow, I wish I could be like that guy. He gets all the girls.
Kind of like The Rock, but not The Rock.
Right.
Except they're not even anything like that, really.
No.
At least their characters are not portrayed that way. That's more of like a Dean Ambrose character, really.
He's the master.
By the way, The Rock's segment on Raw was pretty enjoyable.
Oh, that was fucking hilarious. I love that. That was perfect.
All over the freaking place. Wow.
I did enjoy that, the portion where he pulled up in the truck and was going out to the ring. I really did enjoy that part. But once the New Day came out, I just shut down because I don't want this.
Yeah, I know what you mean. He has a hard time. He's very good at playing off people, but modern day Rock, a lot of his insults aren't, kind of like with Jericho, a lot of his insults aren't really very good anymore.
They're all that, yeah.
But playing off the people, like when he was talking to Lana and when he was going off the script and doing that whole thing, then that's fantastic. And I think it's almost I don't think that WWE writes his jokes, but it's kind of polarizing where here's The Rock, somebody who kind of gets to do whatever he wants, and surely he went over his time and everything, and it turned out to be really well, and you could even kind of forgive all those bad jokes because the charisma and the delivery and everything is so spot on.
Oh, you just know that Vince was turning 7 different shades of red the second Rock decided to go out of the ring and talk to those cosplayers.
Probably at first, and then once The Rock started making his jokes, I'm sure Vince was rolling around laughing because Vince has the humor level of a toddler.
I think you had it right the first time. Wince.
The funny thing about it is that apparently those guys, you saw them on camera for the first half of the show. Apparently those guys actually got moved to the other side, and Rock got out of the ring and talked to him anyway.
Yep, because they were funny.
Yeah, and the crowd,
was chanting their name, and then eventually security, you could see in the background of one of the matches, security came over and said, "Hey, dickhead, sit down."
Oh yeah, the Randy Randy Savage one.
Yes. All right, let's move on here. Kalisto defeating Alberto Del Rio to win back the title.
Botchiest match of the night.
Yay, I guess, or whatever. I mean, I'm sure fucking Matthew was having a fucking aneurysm trying to screen cap all that.
Glad I missed that one.
Bad match.
It was so bad.
Bad match, and just the booking sucks from the point that Kalisto won his first U.S. title to now he's a 2-time champ, and it... Does either one mean anything? Nah.
Nope. Well, here's the thing. I like Kalisto a lot. Kalisto's fantastic. The U.S. title means absolutely fucking nothing. So, the answer to your question
without John Cena?
Nope. It didn't... Well, God damn it. That's a good point. Kind of. Here's the thing. They took it off Cena and then they put it on Del Rio, and I couldn't give a shit less about Del Rio. That's just my personal opinion. I think they should have put it on somebody who was, up and coming,
but they just did.
Look,
and now
what
you're
I'm
saying
saying
it's
is
worthless.
No, what I'm saying is if Kalisto had won it off of John Cena, that would have meant something. Him winning it off Alberto Del Rio, who only got it
the first
because John Cena was out for surgery.
That's the thing, though. The first time it meant a lot when he surprised everybody and won it on Raw. That meant a ton. But then he lost it the very next day, and then they try and recapture that magic at the Royal Rumble, and it's just not there. And then they have a bad match on top of that.
Right, and that's their fault for trying to. Yeah, and it's their fault for trying to put them into the middle of the ring and trying to be like, "Hey guys, you should keep going with this." Anyway, Kalisto won. What?
To whoever picked out ADR's black, neoprene, almost BDSM-inspired trunks, go back to your day job, please.
Chicago Bulls.
Yep. Charlotte defeated Becky Lynch to retain the Divas title. Kiss stealing. That's all I gotta say. Stealing.
That's the only thing I remember about this match.
Flair being Flair.
I don't know who was surprised about it on commentary, but I think it was JBL who, chewed him out for it. It's like, he's been saying he's been doing this for, years.
Well, here's the thing that was bad about that, I think. If Ric Flair had punched Becky Lynch, that would have been a DQ, right?
Yeah.
But he sexually assaults her, basically, and it's okay.
Another era, another time. He was just stealing a kiss. Literally.
You got trouble using that as, Can we not use that word because I don't think it...
what word?
In any way, shape, or form. Sexually assaulted.
If you walk up to someone and grab them and kiss them without their consent,
if you did that in the street, you would get arrested.
Immediately.
So it should be
exactly what it was. But remember, this is wrestling, so it's okay.
Exactly.
Well, right. I'm not saying he should get arrested. I'm saying that it should have been a disqualification.
Maybe. Not really. There's been histories. Hold on. There's been a history of other people kissing other people. And that hasn't been a disqualification or anything like that. I think Moolah is somebody or something like that.
Damn.
And she fucked Mark Henry and gave birth to a hand.
That was May.
Oh, there you go. See, this is wrestling. I'm just proving my point even more. No, okay. So 2 things about this match. Number 1, yay 3-way for with the Horsewomen Divas title at WrestleMania. Hooray! Yes, good, loving it. Can't wait. I want to see it. Sasha Banks, oh baby. Second off, fuck you, Kevin Dunn. Fuck you so hard for missing everything last night with your shitty cutaways and your terrible camera work. We're getting into the Rumble here, and that's and this match are the 2 matches that I saw it the most. The camera work and the production quality last night was so fucking subpar. I swear to God, I was watching TNA before it got cut. This is absolutely ridiculous. First off, you miss fucking Becky's reaction to her losing, which you get in the background, you see her crying, but you don't get a close-up of her, having a reaction to it. No. It's Sasha, and it's Charlotte. That's the angle, brother. Are you fucking kidding me? When obviously on Raw, corrected that situation, and it was supposed to be a triple threat match. Now we're going to get into the Rumble here, and it was a good Rumble, better booked than the other Rumbles that have been the past couple of years, about as good as the number 40 with the 40 people Rumble, from what I remember, because that was booked really well as well.
Personally, I think it was about 50-50.
It was better than the past 2 years combined, at the very least. Booking wise.
I guess.
I'll go ahead.
I just think that, again, just like the Last Man Standing match, the pacing of this match was really, really good. They got Styles out as the big early surprise, and he stuck around for a long time. And then by the time Styles got out, Sami Zayn was the big next surprise, and he got all of that crowd excitement behind him, and it just worked. It worked really, really well.
Yes. Chris Jericho lasting 52 minutes, the longest person in that match, was a surprise to me.
He didn't have that many eliminations either.
No, he did not.
He did a Kofi.
Hey, who knew that one? Who knew
Nobody.
that one? Exactly, because Kevin fucking Dunn. Fuck you, Kevin Dunn.
Yeah, I didn't see that
I
either.
had no idea that Kofi was even. I remember him getting on Big E's shoulders, and that was the last I even remember him in the match.
Yeah, I didn't even see him after that point. I don't remember it at all.
And see, that's where I go with the 50-50 part, because a lot of the actual in-ring Rumble action really didn't matter. I mean, it was focused on a few key people, obviously Roman and Lesnar, and, when the League of Nations came out and beat up Roman at ringside, and by the way, I'm really not a big fan of the whole, I got put through a table, I'm going to get stretchered out, I'm going to chill for 20 minutes, then I'm going to come back and for the big finish. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that whole spot.
Yeah, no, if you leave...
Apparently I'm incorrect by saying done. Dunn is in New York, apparently snowed in. So this wasn't Dunn's fault. So the fact that Dunn wasn't there was the reason why these camera angles were still quote unquote fucked up.
Well, I mean, to think that it's not going to look like that if he's there, though, is pretty laughable in this day and age.
I still think that his team should have been responsible enough to be able to get it done right and get it done professionally, because they could do it every other time, every other day of the year. And usually I have you compliment the WWE production staff. I just don't think that, I just think it's absolutely ridiculous that all of a sudden that stupid fucking gopher is missing, that they fucking fuck it up so bad.
Well, who runs the NXT specials? Because it can't be done.
Triple H.
And they're great. They're really good. Well put together. There aren't missed shots. Even if Dunn is not there, it's all of his leadership that led up to that point.
Wait a second. This is news to me. Are you saying that when it comes to the NXT specials, Trips is actually in the truck calling the camera angles?
Titty sprinkles.
I think our 15 minutes is up.
No. We got to talk about the end. You got to talk about the end.
Excuse me a moment. I gotta do my mic here.
Triple H winning is slightly more disappointing than Roman winning.
Agreed in the long-term sense. I was happy that Roman wasn't the one to just go over like that. I mean, that would have been absolutely ridiculous, and I'm glad that they acknowledged it on Raw that it was going to be absolutely ridiculous.
I mean, I just think, for the third year in a row, they completely just sort of ignore what's going on and what's working and what's trying to work, and they just bullheadedly go with their own plan once again. And I find it interesting because the past 2 years, when that plan did not work out, they had to fix it at the last minute. What with Bryan winning at WrestleMania and Rollins cashing in last year at WrestleMania. So I'm just wondering, are they going to have to do something to fix it again this
Probably.
year?
But hey man, he had to do it for Lemmy.
Yeah, he had to honor Lemmy.
Well, and not only that, if you're gonna do Triple H versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, and you want Roman to be a babyface, why the hell not have H come in at 30, cheat his way to a Rumble win, and then take it to Mania? It's an easy
logical.
There's a part of me that believes that that this could potentially not be Roman Reigns in the main event of WrestleMania. I still think
God.
that
Don't tease me.
that Ambrose could still win this.
I kind of do too, because they were the last two in the Rumble.
I could see.
There's absolutely no possibility of Lesnar getting in there for another shot.
No, I think that we're going to get Roman Lesnar too at Mania without the title involved, which is what we wanted. By the way, shout out to WFC Masters for totally calling that H would win the Rumble. Oh, and by the way, I won the Rumble poll for West. I'm just saying.
It's not really a dig on Triple H himself, but again, here he is at the center of the big time storyline. If it happens to be Roman Reigns, of course, and that's what they want, is Roman Reigns to be the next big thing, then, I brought it up before, CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, Sting, Lesnar when he came back the first time, when it was still hot and everything.
Right.
But anyway, I mean, I would very much enjoy, I think, actually, Triple H versus Dean Ambrose.
Booked himself to be pleased with this angle.
All right, gay Chael Sonnen. Somebody just called you that in West. That's the best.
Call me that?
Oh, Jester.
Oh.
Oh my God, that's fantastic.
Thanks, Violator.
He's in UFC. What the hell, man?
Not anymore. Alright, so basically, Triple H coming in at the end, wrapping things up. Hey, by the way, can you see Triple H breaking Flair's title runs instead of Cena?
Yep, I could definitely see it.
Like, Cena can't get it done, and then all of a sudden H does it?
I don't think he would let himself do that.
Are you kidding me? This is
Triple H.
Talking about.
No,
he wouldn't let himself.
He respects Flair too much to do that.
He'd tie him, for sure.
Oh yeah, he might tie him.
Alright.
Yeah,
right.
because as much as he respects Flair, he still thinks he's better.
Yep. Alright, let's wrap this up. I'm sure that the buzzer sounded long ago. I'm hungry.
You know what that
Drive-through.
Alright, time for the Dairy Queen drive-thru, and with the ratings, Vassar.
And now for the ratings. Starting it off with TNA Impact. It drew 321,000 viewers, up 11% from the 288,000 the week previous. And on to SmackDown, drawing 2.757 million viewers, up from 2.332 million the week previous. And finally, Raw, 4.098 million, way up from last week's 3.496 million viewers.
Alright, and with the birthdays, Net Jester.
Oh, so I get the blade this week, do I? Okay. With the birthdays on the 26th of this week, we have none other than the immortal Road Warrior Hawk, the Stro, Taylor Wilde, and Valador Jr. I think I got that right. On the 27th, we have Barry McCulkinator. I think he works as a shower installer in his part-time. Then we have Bendovich. And, okay, if you're going to make them that easy, I'm just going to skip over them. Besides, that would just give me in trouble with Yankum, and I don't need any more of that. On the 28th, we have Billy Brax and Shark Boy and the Celtic Warrior, Sheamus. On the 29th, we have Hardcore Bob Holly and Jack Kianoff. I think he's related to Awful Awful. And on the 30th, we have Giant Gonzalez and Lou Sameness.
That's rude. You're not supposed to laugh at his pronunciation until afterwards.
February 1st, we have Nick Mitchell and Masa Sato. And on the 2nd, we have Genichiro Tenru and Duchard Edlong. I think that's German. And those were your birthdays for this week. Now.
And now it is time for This Week in Wrestling with Mega BR.
Yes, this week in wrestling history, circa 1954, where Wilbur Snyder and Sendor Zabao defeat Lord James Blears and John Tolos to become the first NWA International Television Tag Team Champions in Hollywood, California. Jump to 1988, where Jim Crockett Promotions holds their second ever pay-per-view, the Bunkhouse Stampede, live from Nassau Coliseum in Uniondale, New York. The WWF again provided competition with the first ever Royal Rumble on USA Network. Also, a ticket snafu resulted in many being printed with incorrect start times, resulting in a majority of fans entering during the second-to-last match on a show that ended up being under 2 hours long. In the main event, Dusty Rhodes won the Steel Cage Bunkhouse Stampede Battle Royal, last eliminating the Barbarian. And in 1999, prior to an edition of Raw in Tucson, Arizona, WWF filmed an empty arena match in which Mankind pinned The Rock with a wooden pallet on a forklift to win the WWF World Heavyweight title. The match was aired on January 31st as a halftime heat special, set to air during halftime of the Super Bowl. And that was This Week in Wrestling History.
Dog, hit me up with some happy trails.
Alrighty, first of all, sad one, of course. I think everybody heard about this. Happy trails to Archie, the Mongolian Stomper Goldie, who died at age 78. Very sad one. Definitely, like, a legend, but not a lot of people had heard of him, ironically. He's not one of those big names, but if you should just check him out. He's awesome. Classic old school wrestler. And fucking happy trails to Sunny, who this is like a weekly thing with her now, isn't it?
It is.
God, yeah.
It's almost always been a weekly thing with Sunny since the beginning of this show. God, what, almost 3 years ago now?
I remember, like, episode, 40-something when we first started talking about Sunny.
Happy trails to Sunny, which should be the name of her next video, wink wink, who now has actually legitimately signed a deal with Vivid, and it must have happened a while ago, because the video came out, like, right away, for an adult feature. It's called Sunny Side Up, In Through the Back Door, which is just a classic name. She claims she's being paid much higher than the original $100,000 offer, and she has taken down her Hall of Fame ring from eBay, but I don't think anybody knows what's happened to it yet.
Well, she must have lost it in there.
I was going to say it.
What?
It could have ended up in a lot of different places after, yeah.
It might be hers, it might be somebody else's. You never know.
Maybe both.
Probably.
Yeah, it's impossible to tell with her.
Alright, with points, that's you, Yankum.
Alright, not a whole lot of points this week. Let's start off with, oh wait, hold on. One quick... Okay. So, negative 10 points to Omega VR for political jokes. You're gonna get us in trouble. Negative 25 points for Gunner, because his bad jokes are bad. Also, your face. Negative 35 points to Gunner, because he should like the Boogeyman. I do. I do. Like Big Red. If you don't like Big Red, fuck you.
I like the Boogeyman, just not in that spot. I said that.
I'm just saying. you're wrong. Negative 50 points to Net Jester because fuck you, that's why. 100 points to Vassar for sexual swagger. 20 points to Dog because fuck the duct tape. 20 points for Mega BR, explaining my point better than I was able to. Tighten your anus there, Gunner. You received 75 positive points.
Oh boy, how did I do that?
Kitty sprinkles.
Yes!
I can't help it. I am a 12-year-old.
Sunny anymore.
I am a 12-year-old. 50 points to WFC Masters for calling that Triple H was going to win the Royal Rumble. Then negative 25 points for not being here. Let's see. Negative 50 points to Netchester. Every time he reads the birthdays, I die a little inside. And then finally, at the very end here, negative 272 points to Netjester for showing up. I bet you thought I forgot. So for
this entire segment, we'd hoped you would have.
So for this show, Netjester has scored himself negative 372 points, bringing him to an overall score of negative 291,000 and 1,015. I thought I had him in the millions already. Let's see. Gutter scored himself 15 points overall for this show, bringing him up to 225. Omega scored 10, bringing him up to 555. Vassar scored 100 points this episode. Somehow, I know why. He's got 292.8 points. That's because last episode I gave him negative 2.72 points for not being here. That's right. What that was. Dog scored himself 20 points. Excuse me. Dog scored himself 20 points for the episode, bringing his overall score to 270. And WFC Master scored 25 points without even being here and brings his total score up to 230 points.
That's called swag.
Yes. All right, so good. Let's see here. All right, so what should we watch this week in wrestling? Netchester.
Well, even though I could suggest anything from the Rumble, I want to go into my own DVD collection because recently I absconded with Owen Heart of Gold, wonderful 3-disc set. But one of my favorite matches from the classic territory which I grew up watching wrestling in, Stampede Wrestling, was the North American Heavyweight Championship match in which the challenger, Owen Hart, defeated the champion, the leader of Karachi Vice, Maka Singh. So watch that match. It's pretty damn good, if I say so myself, for some young Owen Hart.
Hey, Income DDS, what should we watch this week in wrestling?
Oh, fuck. I don't know. I'm sorry. This cough is really getting bad. I'm going to go ahead and just say I'm going to take the easy way out here and say that you should watch the Ambrose and Owens match from last night's WrestleMania. Last Sunday's Royal Rumble. Jesus, fuck. Cold medicine, stop.
Save us, what should we watch this week in wrestling?
Well, of course, tomorrow you should be watching the fucking return of the best wrestling show on TV, Lucha Underground, and to get you excited for it, you should go back and watch the opening match from Ultima Lucha, which was a really, really good street fight between Willie Mack and Brian Cage, who are two people who are going to play into a big role in the next season. It was an awesome match.
Faster, what should we watch this week in wrestling?
Well, since Save Us Dog stole Lucha Underground out from under me, I'm just going to say AJ Styles versus Jericho on Raw.
And And since you stole the match from under me, Omega BR, what should we watch this week in wrestling?
I'll say Eddie Guerrero versus Chris Jericho for the European title from Insurrection 2000.
Oh, that's such a good match. It's funny because we start saying matches from like the Attitude Era at this point, and it's like I've seen them all, and I'm like, oh yeah, that one was good. Speaking of a good match, you should watch the Battle of the Chris's from the Royal Rumble 2001 for the Intercontinental Championship, which was Chris Jericho versus Chris Benoit, that redacted guy. Exactly. It was a ladder match for the IC title. It was the opening match. It was one of the matches I was able to watch as a kid on pay-per-view, which was amazing. It was.
Oh yeah.
It's. I think Meltzer gave it like 4.5 stars or something like that. But I mean, Walls of Jericho over the ladder, like strapped over the ladder as the ladder is erect, and then I was erect. But mind you, I was 14 at the time, so.
Oh,
that is to this day my favorite match of all time. Love that match.
Yeah. All right, so thank you very much for listening. Check us out online at smarksnark.com, twitter.com/smarksnark, facebook.com/smarksnark. You can give us a phone call, leave a voicemail, or you can get on the show here. That's 812-408-9666 or 812-408... Woo! That was so bad, dude. You should give yourself negative points for that one.
I don't get points. Here, try it again.
All right, 812-408. Woo! Much better. All right, so thank y'all for listening, and for everybody here, thank you very much, and we wish you well in your past, present, and future endeavors.
I got nothing.
Good night, Rio Rancho.